Well, grand rising, and of course, welcome to Elanda Monet's Motivational Moment. Before I start, I have to do my salutations. Abora Ghani. Assalamu alaikum. Ikaru. Now that I've done my salutations, let's get into the meat of the message for today. Now, today we're going to talk about facing yourself. And it's ultimately facing fears, facing setbacks, disappointments, facing all of those things so that you can move forward. It's one thing, my grandma used to say, it's one thing to fool somebody else, but it's another thing to fool yourself. Meaning, keep telling them lies. You believe them lies, but everybody else won't. So facing self involves confronting your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and taking responsibility for your actions. It is a process of self-reflection and honesty that can be led to a greater self-awareness, personal growth, and more genuine relationships. Now, we're going to elaborate on some of the different steps. Number one, self-reflection. Facing yourself often begins with introspection, which is the act of looking inward and examining your thoughts, actions, and motivations. This can involve journaling, meditation, or simply taking time to observe your inner world. Honesty. Being honest with yourself means acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses, your emotions, your past experiences. It can be challenging to confront uncomfortable truths, but is an essential part for growth and self-acceptance. Responsibility. And I know on yesterday we talked about taking responsibility for your own actions. And now we're going to take responsibility about facing yourself. Also means taking responsibility for your choices and actions. Piggyback off of what we talked about yesterday. This involving the impact of your behavior on yourself and others, and making amends when necessary. And a lot of times we think that because we say that we're sorry is that we are taking ownership of something that the other person did, which is far from the truth. Taking ownership means you release yourself from that hold that person placed on you. Now let's talk about the benefits. The benefits of facing yourself can lead to several positive outcomes, including increasing self-awareness, understanding your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, help you to make better decisions and live in the most authentic life possible. Personal growth. Confronting your flaws and limitations can lead to a positive change and self-improvement. Strong self-esteem. Acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses and working on your weaknesses can build your self-confidence and self-love. Improved relationships. Being honest and authentic with yourself allows you to build more genuine and fulfilling relationship with others. Let's take an example. Facing yourself can manifest in various ways, such as confronting limited beliefs or negative talk, addressing past traumas or unresolved issues, forgiving yourself for making mistakes and learning from them, embracing your vulnerability and ask for help when needed. Now, self-care is a very essential role to everything that is done. Self-care is an important part of facing yourself. It involves taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Shadow work is a process of integrating your shadow or hiding aspects of yourself, which can include your fears, insecurities, and unacceptable behaviors. By acknowledging and integrating these parts of yourself, you can experience a greater self-acceptance and wholeness. Facing yourself can be one of the most difficult things in the world to do. It is easy to blame others, but it's another thing to take ownership of your actions. Put it out there on the table and see if we can move from there. A lot of times we tend to just shun everything because we're going to blame it on somebody else. It's your fault I'm like this. It's my mama's fault I'm like this. It's my daddy's fault I'm like this. Because of my environment, the way I was raised made me like this. But there comes a time in a person's life when they grow up and they say, look, just because I came from there does not mean I'm going to have to end up there. That's my start. That's the thing that helped me stay grounded, helps me move, and helps me evaluate myself. It really keeps me going. So those things can be used for your advantage versus using them as a crutch. So with that being said, guys, I've got to go. I love you, but God loves you more. But always remember, I'll see you at the top, because the bottom, way too crowded. You can go out to my YouTube page, Yolanda Monet Hatter. Check out my YouTube page, like, click, and share. As we've said before, facing your fears and taking ownership of your actions. Facing yourself. Look in the mirror. It was a song by Michael Jackson. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. So today, let's start with the man in the mirror. Let's start working on ourselves inside so that it can reflect on the outside. Bye, guys.